Okay guys, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tackle a question I get asked all the time, which is, hey, you know what, my page is not converting. Is there something wrong with my headline? Well, unfortunately, oftentimes the answer is yes. And what I'm going to show you today is a very simple technique that's going to show you how you can make your headlines on your pages, whether it be your squeeze pages, your sales pages, or whatever you're doing, how you can make them suddenly pop up, grab your reader's attention, grab them literally by the eyeballs, and have them take action and continue down the page, whatever you're trying to do with them. So what I'm going to show you here is a very standard headline, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of design secret here. Big red headlines scream danger. Red is a danger color. We associate it with danger, with blood and everything else. And everyone uses red headlines. I'm guilty of it as well in the past. But what you're going to see now is how we can really make this come alive. Now, first of all, you have to have something in your title that really grabs the attention of your users. It promises a benefit. So where I've got here, this is a boring headline that does not work. We need something that identifies it. Now, say we're talking about making money online, okay, and something that's very simple to do. So one thing I like to do is put stuff in quotes. And they said, for example, ex-fisherman reveals the top secret strategy for instant. And I'm just making this up. I have no idea what the obviously if I had a product that was targeting this, I would show, I would go into it a lot more and associate it. Income. And I'm going to drop the font size down just a little bit here. So let me just scale this down so we can actually see what we're working on. And you can see, that I put things in quotes because it's nice to have a little quote. A little exclamation point never hurts. One only. You don't have, like I see on some places, like 20. But that's a good start. We have a bolded instant. We show something that is either instant, fast, free, a big action word here. We have someone that's from a mediocre background, which is actually me. I come from a, if you've seen the series Deadliest Catch, that's what I used to do many, many years ago. But hey, that's what I used to do. So, there's a little bit of truth here and, you bring in a little bit of camaraderie with your target market. Hey, working class background, fishermen aren't that wealthy, believe me. So, so anyway, we've got a good kind of headline here. Think about action words, things that compel action, but this is still bloody red. Okay, so what we're going to do to make this really come alive? Well, I'm going to show you a very simple technique. First, take it out of red. What I like to do, and I'm using Photoshop here, but you can do this in GIMP, is bring down a medium gray. So something over here with your color picker. I like about the... if we're going hexadecimal, you see these hexadecimal colors, about 444444, and see that brings that down. Now, okay, that's dulled it down, but what we want to do is bring this up. So I'm going to use a green here for our power word. Okay, so I'm going to grab something about the mid greens, and you can preview how that looks. Okay, maybe a little bit brighter. Okay, that's a good start. But we need to, still bring it up a little bit. We want to really get the eyeballs. So I'm going to change the font. Now, you can get all sorts of fonts online. Let me just see if I can pick one of the ones I use all the time, which is Myriad Pro. And I'm going to raise the font size now because, you can just play around with different fonts. So that's brought it alive because we were using Arial before. That's a kind of a standard font. But now here's where the real magic happens. I'm going to show you a very simple trick to literally make your headline leap off the page. And again, you can do this pretty much in any photo program. What we're going to do is we're going to come up to layers. You can do this in Photoshop Elements, any version of Photoshop, any version of GIMP. And they have all these same things. All we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to put on a stroke. Now you can see right now that's put it in black. But if we bring this over here, I'm going to put a white stroke on it. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. Now, right now, you can't see it because it's white on a white background. But let's now add another layer style, which is a drop shadow. Now, watch this. See that? See how that suddenly made that come alive? right off the page. It looks like it's literally standing off the page. And I'm just accepting the defaults here. I don't want to play around too much and waste your time, but hey, that's a really cool. That has suddenly made it come alive. Now, again, watch this. I want to show you a very simple little way to bring more attention to your action words. And I'm going to just grab a brush. I'm going to actually grab the same green. I'm going to pick this off. And again, you can do all this in any Photoshop program or GIMP. And then I'm going to create a new layer because I want this. I can't write or do this on the actual text layer. I'm kind of giving you a Photoshop lesson here. But grab that brush, and then all I'm going to do is make sure I've got about 5, let's see, let's make it about 8 pixels. We can shrink it down if we want to. But what I'm going to do is just literally go whoosh. Very rough. It doesn't need to be accurate, but you want to bring attention to that. So you could do it a couple of times. Actually, that kind of was rubbish. So let me just do it again. But the thing is, guys, listen, if your headlines and, okay, that's a bit too accurate. Okay, I just want it, my hand's too straight now. Okay, that's even worse. Okay, let's do that. Okay, that's fine. But here, if your graphics on your web page or your squeeze page suck, no one's going to read all of the excellent copywriting, the excellent offer. They're not going to take action. They're not going to buy a damn thing. That's why it's very important to have good, professional, clean graphics. Now, just as a kind of by the by, on Thursday, I'm going to release something that's pretty cool that's going to help you with all your squeeze pages. I'm going to give you some really cool templates. I'm going to blow your mind with a whole big template pack, but that's on Thursday the 7th of October, so in a couple of days from releasing this, but we'll get into that later on. What I want to do is finish this off. Now, you see I've got the green here, but we want that to be consistent, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the layer style and then just paste it on this layer as well. Okay, so it all looks continuous. And there you go. That is how you instantly bring your stuff alive and really give it a kick up the butt, which is very, very cool. Now, there is another thing you can do. You can play around with different effects and everything else, but keep it simple. One thing I like to do is actually do a gradient overlay. This is a little advanced, but you can see it kind of adds a little foam to it there, you know, a little fade. But you can play around with that, or one thing I like to do, which is a little advanced, as I say, I don't know if this is available in GIMP, but I'll do a color burn, and I'll do a little bit of a gradient. And it just makes it a little lighter at the top, a little darker at the bottom. It kind of draws your eye down. It's a very, very subtle effect. It might not even translate very well to this video, but it is a very powerful and subtle little effect that just gives it that kind of final polish. So there you go. That is how you make a headline come alive. Again, guys, pay attention to the very first thing that your readers' eyeballs fall on. It will dramatically increase your conversions and sales if you do it right. And obviously think about the verbiage as well, the words you're using, and that will really help you. But make your headlines come alive like that, and you will get a lot more attention to whatever you're doing. Now, as I say, on Thursday, I am releasing a very cool little package. I'm going to call this, I haven't even come up with a name for it yet, but I'm going to be sending out an email and a link on Thursday. Very, very limited packs of pre-done templates, squeeze pages, some really guru top-level graphics, and some very killer stuff. And it's going to be, I mean, it's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It will save you tons of time. And you will look like an instant professional in everything you do. But this little trick here, again, you can do this to any sales page, any squeeze page, any warrior special offer, whatever you have going, guys. That little trick there to really make your headlines come alive will do wonders. So there you go. That's it for this video. I will see you in another video very soon. And keep an eye on your email because I might be sending out a sample of one of those templates I talked about tomorrow. Take care.